Hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Today, hello Facebook Messenger. Today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Class 325 Enhancement Pack from Armstrong Powerhouse. Yes, another release within a short period of time. Obviously, this one from Armstrong Powerhouse instead of DCG. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at this, and that's about it. Let's get right into it. I've got my rail driver in front of me. This time it actually does work. I've already tested it, so no sort of nasty surprises. Right. Headlights. Somebody's messaging me, so I'll probably try and deal with that in a little while once we're going. But we've got that's headlight. I need to manually turn the tail lights off because my rail driver doesn't detect that they're on. Is the DSD on? It looks like it might be. We have a DSD pedal active. We have no model for it, but I think they're using the DTG model anyway, so you know. Do we have a DRA actually? AWS reset. Emergency brake. I don't think there's a DRA in this train, is there? Oh. Oh, I know it's not a passenger train, but I still would have thought it'd have a DRA. Okay. Okay, anyway. Yeah, there's not a lot else we can set up really, so let's stick it into neutral. Oh yeah, we need to put the master key in, then go to neutral, AWS self-test, forward, brakes off, and let's get going. Nice simple run all the way up to Peterborough. Obviously a diversion from the usual run of these up the West Coast Main Line. I'm surprised there are no West Coast Main Line South scenarios for this, to be honest, out of Willesden. Considering we now have the West Coast Main Line South, they could more than easily have made a scenario for the route. But they didn't. You know, it is what it is, to be honest. You can't sort of overly complain about it. It's nice that we got some scenarios we can use, so you know, I'm sure it won't be long before we actually get people making scenarios for the train. So yeah, can't wait to see what happens. I do like these trains. I don't drive them very often. I don't drive freight as a whole much, to be honest, not very often. Much prefer sort of stopping commuter. But I do like sort of the concept of rail mail. I really love rail mail as a concept, so it's just a shame that it doesn't really exist anymore, especially in its old form. Can you imagine if we still had the travelling post office with the and sort of the nets that swing out and catch the parcels as we go, the sacks of mail as we go past? That would have been great, wouldn't it, if that still existed? Yeah. Anyway, and obviously let's have a bit of a wibble here, as they say. Yes, they have used the 319 sound effects. Why? Because it basically is a 319. Despite its looks, this train is not a networker. It is actually a 319 under the hood. So it's sort of a later design, and therefore the body shell was changed in order to accommodate the fact that it's a 319. There's a 317 going up the to accommodate the fact that it's a more modern train. But yeah, in essence, we're driving a 319 here, so it's perfectly fine that they reused the 319 sound effects. There's nothing really wrong with the 319 sound effects, so you know what to expect with them. I'll have a look at the manual in a little while, and we'll find out exactly what's new in this train. Nice 91. Also, if you want to use this, and you've got all the other enhancement packs, you're going to need to, if you've not already, re-download your 313 enhancement pack. Sorry, train loco pack, unit pack, whatever you want to call it. You need to re-download the 313 because it uses the wagon white livery, the plain white. So yeah, you're going to want to re-download it. But other than that, it's fine. We'll cross the junction, let the rear of the train cross. And then we shall stick it into throttle. We might also go straight notch 4, to be honest. And off we go. So yeah, nice 70-minute run up the East Coast Main Line to Peterborough. There's a 50-minute scenario and a 70-minute scenario up the East Coast. I was going to do the shorter one, but Well, there's also a 60-minute run, I believe, as well. But no, I was going to do the shorter run, but it's at night, which obviously isn't going to make for great content. So I thought we'll do the daytime one. No doubt, literally everybody else will be doing this exact same scenario as their first look video. But you know, so be it. So be it. But yeah, like I say, the rail drivers actually works for it. If you're using the default rail driver software, if you have one, if you have it, that is, you'll obviously there's a specific app. What's it called? It's called Train Sim or TS 2017 Rail Driver and Joystick Interface, version 3.0.3 mode, 64-bit. That's what I'm using, the version obviously. But yeah, joystick and interface thingy, that's what you're going to want in order to be able to use this train with it. The default rail driver software will not work as part of the 319, well, as part of any AP product pretty much by default. You've got to do a bit of sort of manual handling with it. Once you've downloaded the thing, you'll need to sort of launch your AP product in game. It will say when you click start simulation. Oh look, there's not 313. Sorry, I've not had a look at the 313 in white. I imagine it's literally just the travel card one in plain white. Yeah, it is. I think it is unbranded. I don't think I missed it branding though. I think it is unbranded. That looks almost like a double pantograph, doesn't it? Like that. That's great. That's great. Yeah, no. I believe it's an unbranded version. I'm very much surprised they didn't include that livery to start with. It wasn't long before somebody made a reskin for it, by literally just getting the default one and sort of adding or taking away the branding from it. Travel card one, that is, of course. But I'm so surprised that AP didn't actually have that as sort of base at the start when they released the 313. But you know, whatever. It is what it is. So we've got it now. We've got it now. Right, I'm guessing we're on neutral section. Yeah, we have. I saw the there you go. The lights are going out. Stuff. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Neutral section functionality is a new one for this train. Horn, obviously. I'm assuming the majority of these sounds are probably from a 319 as well. Again, it's the exact same sound set, so it doesn't really matter. Or it should be the exact same. You know, give or take. Of course, there's going to be differences. Of course. They're a different train. They're a different setup slightly. So, of course, it will be different. But, you know, sort of overall, they're pretty much the same train. So, they can get away with it. Especially with the pandemic going on. That's the travel card livery. There you go. See, there's a plain white one and a travel card one there. Sit next to each other. Yeah, no, basically same train, slightly different, but, you know. The interesting thing about these trains here, though, is that when they built the 325, they were building it with the intention that one day it might finish as a freight train. Once it's finished as a freight train, they can actually convert it to become a passenger train, so they can, like, sort of cut out the windows, cut out windows in the side and put sliding doors where the roller shutters are and do all that good stuff, and then make it a passenger train, put seats in it and all that. But what's actually happening, which I find crazy, is that they've actually taken the 319, obviously its sister, which was always intended as a passenger train, or its cousin, sorry, they've actually taken that and now they're making them into freight trains for the, what are they? I can't remember what they are now. The service out Liverpool Street. I can't remember what it's called, but you know the one I mean. So there's just something weird about that in there. There's something quirky about that idea. how it was intended to occur, but it's occurring the wrong way round. I just love it. I just love it. There must be a trivia there about. So you know. But yeah, no, this run is clearly a diversion from the West Coast Main Line. On the East Coast Main Line. Pretty essential train, the postal train. I mean, of course, a long time before key workers and stuff, social distancing and all that. So, but you know, it's an important train. It was an important part, especially back in the olden days when the Royal Mail first started using the railways to transport letters. For a while, it was basically the only way to get parcels and letters and stuff up from one corner of the country to the other in a reasonable amount of time. Until obviously they started introducing telephones and eventually the internet and all that kind of stuff, which basically is apart from physical objects, as far as the letters are concerned, you know, you don't really need a postal service anymore because letters aren't really a thing anymore. Parcels, yeah, of course, we're always going to have parcels. You're always going to need stuff delivered by the postal service, like physical objects. I very much doubt we'll get to the point where literally everybody has their own personal factory in their cellar. Maybe, who knows? Maybe technology will advance far enough that we can all have a personal factory creating whatever we want right underneath our houses. But who knows? We somehow need to get goods from one place to another. Thus, we will always need a postal service in one form or another. And it's just a shame that the railways are not part of that story anymore, because, like I say, the concept of parcel trains is great. I love it. Parcel trains are amazing. It's like a train, but it's a freight train. Obviously, not all parcel trains were freight. Well, they were freight trains, but they weren't only in use. But you know, it's just a lovely concept. I love it. I love it. Nice thumbnail, by the way. There we go. Hot as a bar. Oh, 317 on the slow lines. The screen of my rail driver is flashing between 99 and 100 mile an hour. That's quite no. It changes over about 99.5. Oh, we've got the neutral section. That's fun. 3. Right, that's all pantographs across. I love how it flashes up for each pantograph. And actually, thinking about it, if you go over if you've got more than one unit on the neutral section, I don't actually know if the neutral section only affects that unit or if it affects all of them. Because it's not actually a physically neutral section of wire, apparently. There is still current in the wire. However, them bits on the ground are actually magnets, and they basically pull the pickup contactors out on one side, and then as it goes through the magnet on the other side, it pulls it back in. So within that period of time, although the pantograph is up and it's sitting on a live wire, power will not actually pass from the wire into the train, regardless of what you say. If you really got stuck and you really had to do it, you may be able to get a magnet on it of the right polarity and slap the line breaker back in, so that you can get the train off. But you would probably end up with a massive arc when you crossed over the section gap. When the two sort of wires cross over from each other, because obviously it works as one wire comes down, the other one goes up, and at some point in the middle they're at the exact same height. And because you've got two different sections of power, sort of from the near power, the word will come to me in a little while. I'll completely blank. But yeah, because you've got two different sections of power, you'll basically get a massive spark between, a massive arc between the two, because the power from one section will jump across the pantograph into the other room. It can do some serious damage to the electrical equipment. So that's why it pulls out. If you're not pulling any current, pulling any amps, then you're less likely to have any issues with arcing. Because if there's no energy going through the system, then there's no sort of need to pass any current through. If that makes any sense. So yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know if it actually affects all units when you go through a neutral section, or if it's just that one. I'd imagine it's just that one that's in the neutral section. But it might be that if one detects it, it may have some kind of magnetic force that comes through everything and powers off the lot. I don't know. Either way, you wouldn't want to put your power on anyway, because it wouldn't do any good. If you think back to like your 86s and your 87s and all of that sort of period of early electric locomotive, you've obviously got your cooldown that you've got to run through. You've got to click back through all the power notches and let the train reset itself before you go over. So yeah, you want to you obviously want to. Oh my goodness, off. That's fine. There we go. Cool. It's fine. It's fine. We're still moving. So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Double yellow. It's a south double yellow. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm going to have it off the release then. Right, we'll stop putting a bit of braking on then. This is obviously why the scenario takes a while. Thought it might be. I wonder if we got 317 pulling in front of us. Maybe could have stopped off at Wellingham City, pulling in front of us for Wellingham North, and then it might go back out for Nebworth and Stevenage and all that. So we may overtake it. If it is a 317, we may overtake it on that section. That looks like a double yellow to me, so I'm going to stop braking. I'm just going to coast. Yeah, that's a double yellow. Okay, we're not doing too bad on it then. I'll keep it around 75, I think. I think officially you're supposed to do about 40 for a double yellow. And then 10 for a single yellow, I believe it is. But that's a bit slow for the purpose of video. So, you know, it'd be a bit boring if we're crawling along at like 10 mile an hour eventually. So, you know, we'll let that one slide. And you can almost smell that HSC. Oh wow, I like how the clagger sort of hung around after a while after the HSC had gone. Right, okay, we're actually catching up with him now. So, a bit more brake. We'll assume that the signal is the next signal is indeed a red. He's probably stopped at Wellingham North, I imagine. Thus, yeah, I can see the signal. I can't see the unit yet, but like I say, we'll assume for the minute that that it is there. I'll bring it down to a nice gradual stop. There's no rush to stop at the moment. You know, there's no sort of, well, we're on a time, but we've got like 5 minutes to play with according to the ETA, so we'll be well there in time if we continue this. We shall see. We shall see. I'm not sure if the game actually recognises the max speed of the train and sort of goes off of that. Right, there we go. See. We're not going to get much external pull away. Let's do that thing now. Is that? Yeah, I've got my AWS button as well, if you're wondering. Sounds nice. It does sound nice. Well, I'm going to take it up to. I can't remember if that was a yellow or double yellow or single yellow. Oh, hang on. Nice, nice. I like the clunk. The power dropping in and out. I'm going to assume the next signal is a red. Yep, it's yellow. Cool. Let's that's the wrong way. Look downwards. We'll get a bit more throttle going. We don't want to go over speed. We don't want to completely overkill it, but I reckon by the time we've sort of got back up to speed a little bit more, he would have accelerated away from us a bit. So we should be pretty good. Green light, see? Perfect. Again, we'll consider it a yellow. We'll consider it a double yellow, sorry. Pretend that he's still there. So we need to be cautious. But, you know, we've got plenty of time to actually, to react if we do find that the next signal is indeed a double yellow. 125, yeah, we're going on the fast lines. Like I say, hopefully he's actually been sent down the slow lines, and thus we do not have to worry about him anymore. That looks yellow of some description. Unless that's not, no, that's not a signal. That's a bit of sky he's got now. Yep, there's a green signal, cool. Yeah, well, I guess we'll overtake it in a little while and we'll find out what it actually was. Yep, just as I thought, going out too fast. 365. Lights are still broken, that's fun. I think that might be an actual glitch with the pack. Could be a reinstall required, but I'm sure I've reinstalled it before and not had any sort of effects come out of doing that. So I'm pretty sure it's just the setup of the trains in some scenarios. Because also not every train seems to do that. Some trains, the lights on actually do appear to work correctly, so you know. There are a couple that are fine. So I can only assume it's the way the train is set up. For some reason it just does not like it. Oh, about 40 minutes left. Well, just over. I suppose it's close to 50. We're fine though. We're fine. Coming up. Yeah, it looks like a 317. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Nice. Nice. Let's take a look at the livery as well, because the livery is quite nice on it. Let it fly past. There's also nameplates that have been modeled as well. 317 height. Yep, you know, we're going well. Going well. What was that? I don't really know. I do not know. I wasn't looking at different things. I was just pressing okay. Also with broken headlights. That's fun. That is fun indeed. 90 mile an hour. Oh, hello. Is this the hill? Is that the fall of the hill? I assume so. We're still pulling power. Another 317. Stopping here, stand back from the platform edge, straight through Stevenage. Past the old town on our right. A hospital sort of around here, I think it might be. It's either around here or it might be further over, but I'm sure it's before the A road. Is that on? I thought that was on our track. I genuinely thought that 91 was on our track for a second. Genuinely thought it was. Nearly approaching 100 mile an hour. And out into the countryside. Pretty much countryside from here. kitchen, and then yeah, might be more here the hospital. Either way, that's the A1, I believe. The AM1. Oh, we're speeding according to the train. That is not according to the game. The line speed's fine. The train is limited to 100, so as denoted by the red mark on this. Oh yeah, we got a working clock as well. We do have a working clock. Speed up. Doesn't seem to want to sort of sit stable on the speed, does it? Which is a nuisance, but oh well. Lock it down. Let it slow down naturally by itself. Oh, we've got a new section coming up. Kitchen. In the kitchen. There we go, across the junction. No flyover in these days. Off. Watching the it actually, I suppose that confirms it looking at that, my theory earlier. It is only the unit it actually affects, it only affects the unit that's actually in the neutral section. You see that the line indicator actually stays illuminated for the rear two. The first one, the pan down light comes up on the first one. And the line that illuminates and that goes off. But for the other two, this illuminates but that remains on. So yeah, I guess that confirms that one, that it's only whichever unit's in the neutral section is actually isolated. Drop it down. Not free actually, but you know. Still managing to lock the bike. Higher speed ballast coming up here, some cleaner newer ballast. I think that's what it donates generally. Well, I say higher speed. It's more corresponding to higher speed track because they maintain higher speed track better. Thus they replace the ballast a lot more frequently and stuff than on the high speed lines and the slow speed lines. So generally, if you look at a main line, or sometimes when you look at a main line, you'll notice that the two fast lines are actually really clean looking, and yet the slow lines are actually really sort of dirty and brown, the ballast. And that's obviously because the fast lines are faster, thus there is more potential for stuff to go wrong on a faster moving train, and therefore they want to keep it as safe as possible, so they place the ballast sort of as frequently or more frequently than the slow lines, just to keep up with the usage demands, I think. Because obviously you've also got to think that a higher speed track also has a higher wear per train. Slow speed. If you're running a train really slowly over a piece of track, you probably aren't going to get as much damage as on a fast line. Because if you think about it, basically what the running rails are doing here is they're basically making a collision between the wheel on the running rail. You know, your wheel comes down and it smacks onto the piece of rail. And obviously, if you've got a faster moving vehicle, that wheel rotation will be faster, and then that hitting of the ballast, of the wheel on the rail, will obviously have a higher force and a higher frequency than that of a slower moving train. We have a lesser force and will occur less. So both the wheels and the rails are less likely to wear out on a slower moving train. I know I'm rambling about obvious stuff now, but you know, got to have something to talk about, right? After all, there ain't a lot going on in the route, is there? This is all marshland, I believe. A lot of this, I think it's actually something around sort of a floodplain for the sea, or once was a floodplain for the sea, I believe, all this bit. Don't quote me on that. I could be very wrong with that one, but that's what somebody told me. It's sort of, because it's really flat, it's sort of a bit of a floodplain in this area, so it's a bit marshy and a bit flat, really. You know, if this area did decide to flood, you'd have no chance, pretty much. It would flood the entire thing. See, we're above the land a little bit here now. So that's the land dropping there. Obviously, should go to the lower ground, but you know, you've got to be too careful. There's the neutral section. Thunk. Where's the other hot side? Yeah, I think we must be clear of the neutral section. Okay, put it in full roll. I didn't see it all occur. I didn't see the second magnet, sorry. But you know, oh what. Another whistle board, that's a nuisance. You've got to press up to go for the low tone and down to go for the high tone on this. The low tone is actually on space and the high tone on B on the keyboard. But on my rail driver, I've got to go up for the low and low for the high. Which is really counterintuitive, but you know, obviously the up is considered space and the down is considered B. Doing 101. Pop it down a little bit. 33 miles. We're doing well, to be fair. We're doing well. Okay, talk to the devil. We're literally coming up to a red signal potentially now. Let's get a bit of braking going then. I'm guessing it's another train going to pull in front of us after Sandy. I can't remember exactly where the 2-track sections are, but we may be coming into one. If not 2-track, then the train is obviously just sort of pulling onto the fast line for some reason. So, oh, we're going on the slow. Oh, okay. So maybe the next one might be green then. Yeah, we got a 40 limit. I should have noticed that 40 limit on the HUD. I wasn't really paying much attention to the HUD, to be honest. So, oh well. We should be close, at least. There we go. There we go. We're only just down in time. It's fine. 317. Nice. Nice. I love it when you slow down and the run sounds get really quiet. Yeah, see, we've got a green again now. So we're now on the slow lines then. 80 limit. So we've got to watch our speed a bit more. That's fine. That's fine. No problem with that at all. Technically, you should probably actually wait to start accelerating until the rear of your train actually goes past that speed wall, rather than when the rear of the train comes off the crossing and it goes back to 80. But, you know, oh well. That's what the HUD said, so we'll go by that. Plus also the speed boards on the HUD disappear if it's the same speed. If you join onto it before you actually reach the speed board, then it disappears. As you obviously would have seen there. Imagine if we were going back out. I'd have probably had that down more to a scenario building error than anything. This is a nice train, to be fair. This is actually really nice to drive, this thing. It's, to be honest, this one's always been a nice one to drive, I thought. It's quite a nice unit. It's unique as well because it's parcel. But I've always enjoyed driving this, when on the rare few times I actually have. But, you know, this bridge is quite popular. It's quite a good one, to be fair, as well. I've done it, and it's quite nice. You've got a nice long section of track, especially this side. There's about 2 or 3 level crossings on it as well. You've got a camera with a nice long lens. You can actually zoom in on the on sort of the straight, and you can see the vehicles crossing further down. Well, to be fair, you don't even need a long lens really. You can just about see sort of the first crossing at least with the naked eye. So you don't need any kind of zooming apparatus. Apparatus. That's a good question. The apparatus or apparatus? Well, it's not quite apparatus, is it? It's apparatus. Yeah, apparatus. It just doesn't sound right. Which is obviously sparks the question: salt or south, or bath and bath, and fast and fast, yada yada yada. You know. Let's break. I was too busy talking about a load of rubbish, of pronunciation, trying to be an English professor than trying to be a driving professor. That's how that was working, apparently. Where the pylons are. Is it the telephone pylons? But I wonder where the electricity pylons are. And then they just load it in, which is all good. It's a nice route, this route, to be there. Very nice route. Not one I drive very often. We're actually on the 8 limit now. I didn't actually see it come in. Yeah, no, not one I drive very often. It's a bit sparse for me, generally. Build quality is nice, you know. We need to look at this manual at some point. I do have it open. Ready. So that we can look at it. We've got to have a train going past us at some point as well, surely. I'd be disappointed if we get to 2 track and we find out that the train is not past us, like one or HST or something. We've not seen one of them for a while. Let's have a quick nosy at the manual. There are 2 liveries. Don't start complaining that there's only 2 liveries, because obviously I moved my controller over again. Not when I'm looking. Oh, I missed the neutral section, didn't I? Oh, shame. Going back out on it. Yeah, no, there's 2 liveries. One with the stripe, which is the one we've got here, and one without as well. We've also got 2 different headlight variations as well, LED and film bulbs, which is nice to see. Cable controls, demands, lights, pantograph, displays, wiper switch, driver only operation. Whilst in reality, payload shuttles open and closed by the platform terminal staff, we still included this operation for you. Drive control, PC was below TNU, TNO, and then press R to close. It's bog standard stuff. I'm speeding. Bog standard stuff for the driving. The only problem I have with this is it's nice they've included it for this train. I've got no problem with that. What I do have an issue with is that they didn't include it for the 150. Now, I know the 150 doesn't operate like as DOO, but neither does this. And the 150 is a lot more reasonable to run as DOO than this. I'm not having a go at this for running DOO. I'm going to go at the 150 for not having DOO, because honestly, I think it should have. I would have loved to have seen it, even if it's not a feature that's actually used in real life. Potentially one day, if they ever get rid of their guards, we might need DOO in the game. So it would have been nice to have seen it. Staff doors, staff operation, press T, doors will be closed by tap the star, once it's locked, illuminates. You press Control R to change the thingy and you'll get a visible message. Also protection, accelerating. It's got all the tables here. I'll let you look at braking and acceleration. The possibility of wheel slip. It's bog standard though, obviously. Summer clear, you're much less likely to have any wheel slip than you are in sort of winter. The wiper switch on my rail driver doesn't do anything. That's a shame for boat roll. I suppose it's probably part of the default animation. It would have been nice if they had done it so that it didn't. You know, individual. I like scenarios where the weather changes, but they are a bit quick. It would have been nice if when AP did their weather change resets, we shift. Yeah, there we go. Is that faster? That's faster, isn't it? Yeah, that's faster. Okay. I wanted it on intermittent. This doesn't seem to be an intermittent function. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. The train probably doesn't have one. Oh, they've also got some, there's a 91. It's ironic, we were talking about one earlier. Yeah, they've also updated all of the labels, so they're easy to read. They've got high definition cab textures for it, so, you know, that's a good thing to note. Dual section functionality, we've already found that. Dual section functionality. AC to DC, press Shift P. Reverse neutral, pan down to Shift P. Control O, pan up by pressing P, choose now. AC system, Control P. We really need to put a bit of brake on, and we probably ought to use that faster function than wiper, I reckon. Yeah. Although it wasn't too bad to be fair. It wasn't the worst I've ever seen. I swear, if they had some lightning to this scenario, that would be really nice. Can we have some lightning, please? Dying. I've done too much talking already. I don't even have a drink. That's fun. R.I.P. my boys. With some F's in the comments, please, for my boys. 20 miles. We've got half an hour to go 20 miles. There must be something going wrong somewhere. Sure. It took half an hour to go 20 miles. Scenarios AP have ever done is the one where there's a power outage on the 319 scenario pack. I'm not saying it's inherently bad, this scenario. It's a good concept, it's just annoying. if you're in the mood, to do it, then yeah, it's great. But in reality, it's like it happens right at the end of the scenario, and you sort of like sort of starting to be ready to finish up the scenario and either move on to something else or do whatever, you know. And then all of a sudden it throws up, oh, there's a power failure, you sit here. And then it sits you there for a load of time. And then it pops up with a message and it says, you must remain here for an unknown amount of time. And I don't even know how long it takes. I don't think I've ever actually sat there for long enough. I think I just go. Because obviously the game doesn't recognise it as a power failure, so it's just roleplay aspect, so you know. Speaking of roleplay, that's a good point. There was something I saw a comment the other day that said, like, why are you adding roleplay to this game? But in reality, our video game is just not categorised as roleplay technically. You know, like a computer game, you're just pretending to be someone else. You're experiencing something else, sort of thing, you know. Be it either a job, or to be another creature, or person, to be in the middle of a battlefield, you know. Whatever it is, you're just experiencing it from a different perspective. So all video games are technically role-plays. I'll let you mull over that one for a little while. So yeah, we've got AC and DC changing. Body side interlock. Over the years, there was a degree of mystery surrounding the blue body side lights on these units, which are often seen illuminated on blue. After consulting official documents and online sources, the consensus appears to be that these interlock lights are for the doors, which illuminate if the doors on a relevant vehicle has not been securely latched closed. When these units not due to speed limit, there we go. We're actually coming out of the rain now. That's nice. I want it on slow still. When these units were pressed into service, however, it was agreed that all containers within the train would be secured with webbing straps while in transit. Therefore, it was no longer considered a safety issue if the doors were not securely closed. And as a result, these lights have been ignored by rail staff ever since. So much so, there's even an entry in the rulebook to this effect. To simulate this, the blue body side interlock lights will remain lit on some vehicles once the doors are closed. Each vehicle has been given a 50-50 chance of whether they will stay lit or not, and recalculated every time the doors are closed. Get a bit of power going. Do that. I'm sure I need to do that. So yeah, these blue panther. These are blue lights. They're not a mistake at all. They're randomised. There's your nameplate, by the way. It looks 3D. So yeah, you can see we've got some coaches that have the blue light going on, and others don't. Now, let's just pause for a second. To be honest, I see where they're coming from on this matter, but at the same time, I also think it's a bit stupid. I'm talking about real world here. I'm not talking about AP. I'm really pleased to see that AP have done have sort of represented the fact that they can be on, because you often see videos and pictures and whatever of them going down the line with the blue lights on. In my opinion, it's a terrible idea. Why? Well, firstly, what happens if them webbing straps around the trolleys become loose? Now, obviously, your biggest concern there is probably the fact that the trolley's going to be rolling around the carts, around the inside of the car, and the brakes should technically be on anyway. But you could, if it comes loose, you could still fall over and you get mailbags everywhere. Now, if the doors are actually down, there's not really much chance of the mailbag escaping the train. However, if for some reason that door flies open while in transit, and that trolley comes loose, then the bag is probably going to fall off the train. Now, as bad as that sounds, that's not really the biggest concern here. The biggest concern is what happens if the train pulls into a station. Because obviously sometimes this train the units may have to stop at stations. Oh. That would be cool. Despite the fact pointless, but you know, it'd be cool if there was a inside view. But yeah, if the train stops at a signal at a station, there's some naughty boys on the track decide that it'd be a fun idea to to try and lift the shutter, and jump and sort of take a ride on the train. Then, if the doors are not locked, there is nothing actually stopping them getting on this train. One, is that not a safety hazard for both them and the parcels? Two, is security hazard. Three, they can steal sort of post or plant something in it. I thought it's just an all-round bad idea. I would have thought. You ain't going to catch them until the train stops. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, clearly, if it's in the rail book, the rule book, then they've basically said, yeah, it's fine, let it go. It's not a problem. They're not passengers you're actually carrying on board, so as far as the mail is concerned, it's not a safety risk. But the fact that they're there, and the train clearly has interlock, which doesn't really matter much. Right doors closed. That's quite funny, actually, considering they're not all closed. You know, somebody could easily get into the train. So to me personally, I would have still said that they may not be important, or you know, they may not be all that imperative that they're always locked all of the time, but it's still a good thing to do, I would have said. But hey, I'm not the rave, so who knows. What else has it got? Arcing pantographs. It will, especially centering into the simulation of arcing pantographs, overhead wires. 1 hour after sunrise, 1 hour after sunset on a dry day, there is no arcing. After sunset, moderate arcing, tends to put up the overhead wires, pitfalls. When raining. Winter, there's a lot of arcing. Arcing becomes more frequent as you gain speed. Arcing visual pantograph in the area around. The illumination surrounding area will only occur after and before sunset to avoid unrealistic appearance of the light or daylight. Variable power and brake performance. Any train driver will tell you that, especially on older style, braking and power performance can AWS. Oh, hello, we've got a yellow signal. I was thinking, hang on, have I missed something? But no, I've not missed something. We're following 3 aspect signalling here, so I've not missed anything at all. Well, we'll go back to that in a second. This is, I believe, is where the train's going to pass us, because there was a green light on that signal next to us. I think I can see the red light here, so bring it down to a nice, casual, slow stop. Still surprised this train doesn't have a DRA. To be honest. Oh, it's got a red line. Well, we'll stop and we'll press tab. We can do that. We'll try and do an external departure as we. Oh look, there's gone green now. The train's gone green. The signal's gone green, so the train can't be that far away. By rights. Roll along nicely. Cancel that. mph. Yeah, I think overall, considering this pack only costs you actually 10 quid, when you know a lot of the recent EPs have been quite expensive. Considering this one's only a tenner, I don't think this is bad. to be honest. I think this is a decent purchase. I would recommend this to anybody. Obviously, it may not be one that you use a lot, but it's nice. It makes it really nice to drive. Like I say, this train's always been a nice one to drive, in my opinion. But this pack just sort of finishes it off nicely. It would have been nice to have had a new model, to be honest. It's looking a tiny bit dated. I mean, it's alright. I've got no problem with the model. The inside could do with a bit of it over. But, you know, we ain't going to get anywhere, so... Right, put it into neutral. Put that into step 3. There's our train. There we go. Right, when we let that get away a little bit, and then no doubt that signal will go yellow. We've simulated the variance of randomly allocating a brake and power force every time you drive the unit. Power force can be reduced by a maximum increase and reduced by a maximum of 8% either way. There's no way of finding out what factor your unit has been allocated except the feel when powering and braking. Oh, there's the volume as well. Motor factor. This cannot be changed by the player. Okay. Dead variant, unelectrified reliability. Units often hauled by a locomotive. Dead variant provided for the purpose of scenario. And dead suffix and rolling stock. You can add the tail lamp to it, pretty much. It's only got run sounds. Only acts as a dead vehicle, and it can be assigned a tail lamp rather than headlamps. Bits and bobs. We've got visual improvements to labels, illuminated buttons and gauges, new TPWS unit, correct power brake control markings, and numerous other minor improvements. Oh, we got another train coming, have we? Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's why the thing wants us to wait so long then. I suppose. Actually, it's quiet in the cab. Let's stay in the cab for a second. What else have we got? Oh, we got shift 2 and right arrow will give us a bogey cam. Shift 2 and right arrow. Oh, shift 2 is that. And then we got bogey cam. Okay. Is that just your second head out? I'm guessing it's amended cab camera angle. Brake hold button, which applies the equivalent of a step 1 brake. Oh, that's cool. DSD isolation light at the top of the driver, as well as safety system isolated on desk. Silent fast wiper speed. Wipers on AI if it's raining. I like that feature, to be fair. I've not actually seen it, but it's still plenty use. There it is. Another 190. See if I can pull the screenshot off. Probably not. Nope, well off. Oh well. Nope. Nope. Terrible. My bad. We'll just take a picture of this instead then. There we go. Wipers operating the AI. Visual alarms. Visible drive automatically moves when you're in the cab. Compressor momentarily rises pitch when taking power. Oh, okay. So wait, if I... Hang on. Put it into forward. Oh yeah, it did. It did just about as well. Right. Let's go next to the pantograph. Notch 1 doesn't seem to do a lot, so, you know. Oh, lovely. We've got a neutral section as well. Got to roll through the neutral section. That's one unit, I'd imagine. There we Where are we calling 3? We call 3 around at the blade of this point, I reckon. Now. Yeah, nice. Again, nothing wrong with the sound effects. Nice, nice, clear and crisp Royal Mail logo. Not much sort of pixelation on it. Not a lot on that either, to be honest. It's really smooth. Go back up to 400 mile an hour again. There's the other tone. Oh, shoot. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Where were we on the bits and bobs? Compressor rises. 1 second delay between AWS. Unrealistic aerofoils removed from pantograph. Okay, so I'm guessing it had little bits that stuck out. I'm guessing that's what they mean. Headlights only provide illumination for sunrise and sunset. What is it? Unrealistic appearance of projected light at broad daylight. I understand that. You know, I do understand why they do that, but at the same time, it also annoys me slightly that they do that. In a way, I would prefer to have the lights illuminating all the time, because when you go in a tunnel, you don't get any light from it, the headlights sort of thing. So it's sort of a win-lose situation. You win in that it doesn't have a funny glow in the day, but you lose in that. At night, it doesn't look right. Oh, sorry, in the tunnels it doesn't look right. High quality marker and tail lights. What is that? I cannot see. Wasn't that? Yeah, okay. They're high quality. Including LED variants for 007. Okay, so 007 is the only one with the LED headlights, is it? Nameplates for 002, 006, and 008. 7 overhead line warning sticker variations. Okay, fair enough. And then it's got all the scenario stuff, so I'll let you look at that. Scenarios 50, 65, and 70 minutes we've got. Yeah, various different times of day. We've got one in the night, one in the late evening, and one sort of around now, which is early evening. So yeah, what do I think? I actually really like this pack. I like this pack a lot. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say as I love this pack. It's not something we needed, but it's something that you're gonna want it, I reckon. It does make it a nice train to drive. Like I say, it's always a nice drive, this train, but with the enhancement, yeah. It's nice. It certainly does seem a little slower, a little more sluggish than before, which is good. Yeah, it doesn't just shoot off like a rocket. Not that it really did, I don't think. I don't think there was like too particularly bad physics, but you know, it's nice to see that it does that now. You watch that shadow appear on that picture. It's like a mental, I think. Pretty cool. Especially when it wiggles around. There's no trees in the way, of course. Right, we're clear into the station anyway. That's good. Start slowing down quite significantly, I think, at that 30. lag again as we approach Peterborough. AWS, cool. Gonna release the brake a little bit. 317, we've not seen one of them for a long time, to be fair. Or 365 for that matter. Anything in the yard? Nothing. Oh no, there's one. There's one 365 in the yard. Cool, cool, good, good. It actually wants us to pick up passengers. Well, passengers. There's actually parcels, but you know, whatever. Parcels, letters, mail trolleys. We got to stop and open the shutters, basically, to let whatever needs to be loaded be loaded. Oh, 91's gone around the back, has it? Fair enough. Would have thought they'd send us around the back, to be honest, and the 91 in the front, but whatever. Fair enough. I'm going to go right down the end of the platform, I believe. Four-car marker. Oh look, there's a load of luggage trolleys on the platform here. 12 and S is right at the end here, along with our replacement driver. And stop. 1723. Let's try and find somewhere a little quieter to open the doors. I haven't got a lot of sound, to be honest. Oh, and don't worry about the people getting off. There's always had people getting off it. So there's nothing that AP have done wrong. So, yeah. Side effects of stopping at a station, I guess. Looks nice. It's good. Cool. I guess we were slightly too far forward for the game to be happy with this. Right, shut the train down. Step 3. We'll leave the lights on as they are. Cool, cool. Good, good. See what I mean by the inside? It could do with something better, but it's only the inside and it's got no windows, so when you're going along at high speed, you know, you're getting. Yeah, it's 3D. 3D. Good, good. Good job, I think. One of the best openings here ever. I think it's the British Rail font as well. Good work. Another driver will now take over the journey northwards once all the parcel trolleys have been loaded on board. I'm guessing we won't hear the doors close, so that is pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've actually really enjoyed this one, genuinely. More than most, which is quite nice. So yeah, let's close that, so that hopefully we can get some peace and quiet. And there we go. Stopped at 101, speeding 4 times. It's fine. 75 miles in 1 hour and 7 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Yeah.